Just found him.
Right, so as long as you don't touch him, just grab the medicals and I'll sort the rest out. Detective Inspector Wilson Trustworthy, by the way.
If he was murdered here, do you still think the murderer is still around here?
That is possible. Just do what I do and don't trust anyone. I will find them. Just be careful. Oh, then, they didn't really want to dispose of any evidence properly. How am I going to do this? Careful. Don't want to touch any important evidence. A knife, and they didn't bother to throw it away. Right, interesting. I found something. Now, they might not have said, but if they did find out, do you know where he was stabbed?
They said it was in the bag, but he could have been pretty strong if it was a wooden knife.
You're right, they must have been pretty strong. They must have given it a good old stab. But in the back, so we can presume he wasn't seen.
They grab a bunch of police officers?
I'm a detective inspector, not a police officer. They're two very different things. What was his name?
Charlie Daly. He was a close friend of mine. By the way, you've dropped your hat?
So I have. So you came in. How did you find his body? Were you heading to your classroom?
Yes.
And do you know anyone else who knew a lot about Charlie Daly?
You know this guy called Barry Seymore? He's near where the dead body was.
I'll have a look then.
Shocking news today at a college located in Ipswich. 17-year-old student Charlie Daly was murdered and found on the floor. The person who found him was Leonard Foxsteady, who was in the same performing arts class as Charlie. He instantly proceeded to contact young Detective Inspector Wilson Trustworthy, who straight away arrived on the scene. Wilson requested for Leonard to grab the college medical team to take Charlie's body away for the doctors and Wilson to examine the body and evidence. The evidence consisted of a wooden knife that Wilson found on some stairs and found out that the blood soaked on the knife matches the blood that was drying and dripping from Charlie's back. Starting tomorrow, the college will bring out all the available rangers to scout the college and make sure no violent behaviour occurs. Wilson will also start to question any suspects from people who knew Charlie. Here's what Wilson had to say about this event earlier today.
This is my first murder case that I've been called to handle. This is a terrible thing that's happened and I don't want anyone to be put off by the events today. Please come in and attend your lessons if you need to, and avoid the area of the crime scene, which will soon be labelled and put on display at the front of the college for you to be aware of. And if you are someone who knows anything or anyone associated with Charlie Daly, please contact either the college staff or me if I'm around. And if you are a suspect that I want to question, don't lie. That will make the situation worse and cause more problems. So, if I do ask you a question, come forward with the truth. To Charlie's family out there, don't stress. I promise. I will find who killed Charlie Daly. You have my word.
We will come back to this side of the news later when we have more information from anyone. Meanwhile, in other news, we have reports that there are
I will find who killed Charlie Daly. You have my word.
I gave my word. Leonard came to me because he knew I'd be reliable to solve this.
But can I, Wilson Trustworthy, actually be trustworthy to find who killed you?
I can. I will be. I promise. I will prevent something like this from ever happening again.
Leonard sent me because you might have information on the person that was murdered.
Are you asking me questions?
And when you came across these stairs earlier, did you ever come across this?
Is that a knife?
Yes, it is. And out of everything you've told me so far, do you know anyone else who knew about the person that was murdered?
There was this teacher then,
And what was their name? Mr. Clarkson, someone at the college says that you might have information regarding Charlie Daly, who was recently murdered. You would have seen on BBC News.
Well, I know who he is. I didn't know he was murdered.
Right, all I'm here to do is ask you questions about what you know of Charlie Daly.
Oh, he was very cheeky, quite goofy, distracted a lot of people, but he was really quite hardworking.
Okay, any more, please? I haven't got all day.
For a detective, you're very strict.
It's my job. It could have been a lot worse. I could have been a police officer because I went to a police academy and they told me that being strict and serious gets the job done. It doesn't seem to work out for me, which is why I'm a detective, which is why I need to know what else do you know.
I don't know anything else.
Okay, I have another question. We found evidence of Charlie Daly's death. A knife with blood on it. And it's made from wood, so I suspect they've got it from a cafeteria. Now, I want you to tell me, look at this real close. Does this knife resemble the ones that they get at the college cafeteria?
Well, yes, they do.
Thank you. I have one more question. Do you know anyone else who might know a bit more about Charlie Daly?
There's a student called Peter Malcolm.
Your former teacher, Mr. Clarkson, says you know something about Charlie Daly. What do you know? Tell me. Hit me.
I don't know much about him, but he can be a problem.
And what do you mean by a problem?
Well, he's a cheeky joker and sometimes make people late.
Was he a problem to you at any point?
No, I don't really talk to him much.
Well, I'm a detective. I need you to tell me what you know.
You look really young for a detective.
I'm not that young. I'm only 24. Anyways, back to the case. Do you know anyone else who might know something about Charlie Daly?
Well, I know a guy here. His name is Cole Jackson.
Your friend Peter says you might know something about Charlie Daly, who was murdered in a room down there.
Well, I don't know who it really is.
Well, at any point, did you ever come down there and find something similar to what looked to be like this?
What is that?
Well, that's clearly a no then. Thank you for all the questions, but I have one more. Do you know anyone who might know about Charlie Day?
No, I don't really know anyone else. Sorry.
Right, okay, thank you. That's making it a bit harder, but I'll figure it out. Thank you. At this point, there wasn't really anyone left I could question, because in truth, no one really did know anything about Charlie Daly. The only question now was, what could I do next? What could I do to solve this case? Well, the next morning, the answer came to me, but not in a good way. I can't do any more tonight, I'm going to bed. And in the next morning, I got a worrying wake up.
Looks like my door was left open. Whoa, it was opened.
What are you doing on my seat, you piece of sh...
Did that happen or did someone actually come in here? Where the frick is the knife? Someone stole it from me. They've got the knife, they've got the evidence, and they can cause another problem. I need to go. Who could come here? He's here, isn't he? I feel him.
Well, if it isn't Peter Malcolm, I kind of suspected it was you. Why did you kill him?
I didn't!
Well then what was that? What were you doing to me? Were you trying to kill me? Were you trying to knock me unconscious? What were you doing? I know you know something about him. Just tell me, why did you kill him?
Okay, I do know about him. He was always annoying, always on my way, always thinking he was better than me. He stole my girlfriend and never said sorry.
But that didn't give you the reason to kill him. You have the right to remain silent.
Peter, I found your knife at the part where Charlie died. You left it on the floor, and before I put it in the rubbish, I'm on my way to kill Leonard for snitch.
Who is that? Officer, take him away. The job's not done yet. There's still someone here. Make sure you don't let him out of your sight. can't stop.
Stop, please.
Something bad has happened, but I can't let anything worse happen.
You seem like a nice guy. I can let you off, but only for one question. You knew about the murder. You were the one that stole the knife from my house. But why didn't you tell me in the first place?
Because he threatened me. If I told anyone else, he would have come after me next.
He's caught now, but if you ignore everything that's happened today, we can let this behind us, and I need to get home. I really need to get, blood losses. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
I think it's safe to say that we can come back to the thrilling story of a college murder. Earlier today, D.I. Wilson Trustworthy arrested Peter Malcolm for the student responsible for the murder of Charlie Daly. He'll be taken to court tomorrow morning to face charges. The level of security in the college will remain the same for as long as the college can keep it.
In truth, I was fine. Sure, I might have just been stabbed, but luckily, Carl managed to miss any organs in my body, so it was just a painful cut. Only felt a bit agonising. You see, Charlie might have been an idiot to Peter, but if something or someone is bothering you, then tell someone. Violence doesn't do anything justice. If Peter managed to talk to someone, he could have easily solved the situation. Charlie should have really been a bit more nicer to people. If you cause a problem on purpose, it will bite back on you. But anyways, I felt proud that I solved my first murder case in my life. I even felt like a hero.